mousetrap display. Build a better mousetrap and the world will be to pass your door. That was a kind of an archaic saying, and we have over 100 different mousetraps in this section. Kind of overwhelming in this small space, but also we picked up at an antique store in California one time we were visiting, and these posters. These are 1943 war bond posters encouraging people on the home front, those people at home here, to sacrifice so our soldiers, that's a generic term, our soldiers, our fighting forces, would have the means, the supplies necessary to win the war for victory. So one of these mousetraps over in the very top right corner of the center section is one that my grandparents had, and you see a mouse about ready to climb in there looking for the bait, probably cheese or peanut butter, and he gets in there and there's a little trap door, and he gets on the other end, and this end lifts up and allows that door to slide down, so he's trapped in there. So then he can climb up that little screen. There's a little flapper there. He gets above that, he can't get back down. The only other place he can go is overhead, and there's a trap door there, and he falls into the can of water. So I caught up to 5 mice at a time when I was a child. So we see various other types of traps. We see an electrocutor down on the bottom shelf. We see a Jim Danny mousetrap. By now, that's kind of an antique mouse there that we had painted up. It's got a long tail. Today you have a cordless mouse on your computer. But you know, mice can be real cute when they're little teeny babies and so forth. But the damage they do, they can cause millions of dollars of damage, but they also carry a hantavirus, and that can kill people. Well, you build a better one and you're going to get more customers. It's common sense. We don't need the government in there price controlling and so forth. I explain that a little more understandable with the kids talking about lemonade stand. I say, can you children be an entrepreneur or a business person at your age? Well, no. I said, well, think about it. Maybe be a long hot summer and you could start a lemonade stand, selling your lemonade at a quarter of a glass, and you're doing pretty good business. And that sounds pretty good. Well, what about your neighbor across the street? Maybe they want to start one too. Is that all right? No, that's competition, they think. Well, we discussed that a little bit. I said, well, maybe your neighbor on either side of you down the street, they want to start one too. Well, that's worse competition. I said, well, maybe the competition will help level out the price and weed out the poor quality. You know, let the people decide. But then you have all these lemonade stands, like you go into a town, a lot of restaurants are in one section. So let's call it Lemonade Alley. You can change the street name. Lemonade Alley. Everyone comes down there, and one time they buy from your friend, another time you, another time a neighbor down the street. So everyone shares in the blessings of that business that's incorporated. So you've saved up all this money. You're on your way down to the store to buy what you've been dreaming about all summer, and a great big bully comes along and says, give me half that money. I'm going to give it to the person down the street that's been sitting in front of the TV eating chocolates all day long. And how would you feel? Well, not so good, because you earned that money, and to give it to somebody that wasn't even working, wasn't even trying, even if they were able, you're not going to feel good. But while you're doing your lemonade, maybe somebody comes along and said you have to buy a license for that. So that's a form of taxes. Do kids pay taxes? No. I said, well, what's bubblegum cost today? Well, $1 a pack. I said, when I was your age, it was 5 cents a pack. Inflation is a taxation of the worst kind. And so these kids by now are learning some new words: competition, inflation, price controls, and so forth. Do you think the government should tell us how to price our lemonade? No, let the people decide. How about sweetener? Should the health department come in and tell you how much sugar to put in there? Well, let's let the people decide. Maybe you'd have a sugar bowl there, and somebody has diabetes and can't use straight sugar, they use something else, and so you let the people decide. So excessive controls, excessive taxation stifle or destroy incentive to build. So that's when you have all these controls, whether there's lemonade or mousetraps or tractors or computers. If you have too many government controls, people say, what's the use? They're hassling me. They're overtaxing me. I think I'll take my business to a foreign country that doesn't have all these, or else I just close my business down and lay off all my workers. So you see that we have a poster here that says America leads in invention, because over here men can profit. Men, meaning mankind, if you remove profit, you destroy progress. So these posters tell a wonderful message. So free enterprise gives us, all people equally, the freedom to try, to buy, to sell, to fail. If you screw up, should the government bail you out? Very seldom have the government been paid back for bailing somebody out. People should learn from their mistakes, and maybe next time they'll say, "Oh, I screwed up on that one. I better do better on this one." So here we have examples of other inventions. Build a better egg beater, and you can whip them all like whipping cream. But we've taken some license with that theme. So a few little oddities in this display, to showing people's ingenuity in a country that can dream. I mean, if you're sitting in a slave country, like you're sitting in prison, you don't have much incentive to think up new ideas. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the Miracle of America Museum.